House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Welcome one and all to House to Home here on KUM. Thank you so much for joining us as you do each and every Tuesday. We like bringing it to you because we like basically geeking out on real estate. I know at least these two do, Liz and Gina from Remax Diamond Realty. Ladies, half a day. Thank you very much.
Half a day, Jason.
Things look fantastic in your office, and I hope business is going well for you. I wanted to kind of continue a conversation that we've been doing for the past couple of weeks, if I may, because you know me, I like to think about what about this, what about this, what about this. It's part of not being able to keep still, or so my elementary school teachers told me, right? So we were talking last week about like how if property is passed down from one generation to the next, and subdivided, between the members of that generation, say like siblings or some sort of relatives, right? I was thinking over the weekend, what happens if members of that tier of a generational tier, I guess, and flip it the other way. What if one of those siblings should pass? Does it automatically go to their heirs, their children, or do you have to subdivide it within the brothers and sisters first? And how crazy does that get?
Well, Jason, what normally happens, so I was an administrator for my great-grandfather's property. So the property was supposed to go to my mom and her generation, right? So her siblings and first cousins were all entitled to the property. So we had to take the case to probate, but every heir had to be noted who the children or heirs down the line. And if for some reason someone in that tier of heirs had passed away, there has to be a separate probate. Like, for example, my mom is still alive, so she was able to, of course, be on the list of tier for the heirs, but her brother had passed away. So his family had to do a separate probate for his. So the monies, if it came to my mom and she's alive, of course it went to her. But if there's any monies from sale of property, when it went to my uncle's family, they could not automatically get that. They had to open probate in order to receive that. Now we're talking about proceeds from the sale of property, but in every generation, that tier, if someone has passed, probate has to be open for that clan, for that particular family. And again, go ahead, Gina.
Hey, Liz, in that case, and this is kind of what you touched on with Mick Flynn, right, Liz?
Yes.
Is cleaning things up and putting things in order. So in your case, Liz, when you went to probate for your grandparents, the family agreed to sell, correct?
Correct.
Instead of splitting it up, they agreed to sell. Now,
right. Now it would be difficult to sell because, again, there were so many family members. And by the time we took a piece of paper and cut it up, by the time you cut it up, there's only this portion that each clan would receive. Mm-hmm. So in that particular case,
you mean it's difficult? No, you were saying sell. You mean it's difficult to pass it out?
It's difficult to subdivide the property. It was a good sized property, but the clans were so many that if we were to subdivide it, they wouldn't really benefit because who's going to get this piece of property? There were just too many people. So as a result, the decision to sell was made in that particular case.
Now the family members who had already passed, so this is your grandparents, so their children got the property. Now, if someone in that, one of their children had already passed, were you able to sell without their probate, or was the probate started already?
We couldn't, we couldn't do anything unless there's probate established. So you can't do anything with that particular clan. If the parent had passed and they're one of the heirs, we couldn't do anything unless there's probate for that particular clan.
And I'm going to assume that you can't actually start a secondary probate matter before the initial one is resolved and properly taken care of, right? You can't have probate on top of probate.
No, actually you can, Jason.
Oh, you can, okay.
that's what Liz is talking about. And that's why I'm bringing it up. In order for her to sell the property, the probate for the people who have already passed had to have already been in place, because if the grandparents' property are going to go, let's say it's going to go to me, but I'm already passed, and the rest of my brothers and sisters want to sell, how are they going to sell my interest if I'm already gone? Who's signing for me? No one can sign for me unless my probate is open. And this is what we're trying to educate people. You have to, and yes, you could do it all at the same time. In fact, Liz's scenario, you have to do it at the same time, because if the family already acknowledges, man, guys, we have to sell this property. There's not enough of this property to split amongst all of us so we each get a piece. In that case, in order to sell everyone's interest, you must have their probate open. So a person that is already, the court has to say, okay, you're the administrator for this person, because that person's gone and they're an heir. So you will sign in behalf of that person. And I think that's why Liz was able to do her family probate successfully, because she already knew that.
Now, I would dare say, I would dare say for my final question, because we got to run, but I would assume, knowing, talking to a lot of people since we started this this ongoing discussion, there's a lot of people on Guam who kind of like understand probate at a conceptual level, probably more than in the States, just because we're such a family driven society here. But how often do you see, like, when, say, like an uncle or an auntie passes away, the kids just automatically assume, okay, well, the property is going to be is going to filter down to me? They just naively assume that.
We see a lot of assumptions that are made. Both Gina and I have seen that. I've also seen, and I'm sure Gina has seen this as well, where family members have passed and the surviving members seem to think, oh, they're gone, and they want to dismiss it. And we're telling them, no, you can't. Whoever is the surviving heir from that particular individual has rights. So we've seen cases where people were not accounted for that have passed. So we just kind of want people to know that even though a family member has passed, if there is an heir, a child, then therefore they have equal rights as well. So, it's unfortunate that sometimes people get left out, and we've seen that happen a number of times, but surviving heirs do have rights. It's not automatic. They have to go through the probate process.
Okay, Gina, we got 20 seconds, so you can get the final word, please.
Jace, sometimes it's hard for the families to understand. It's my mother and father's property, and they worked hard. And what do you mean it doesn't automatically go to us? And what do you mean we have to go to the court and pay the court to pass the title to us? Well, it's the law. And until they find a way to fix the law to make it a little easier, yes, it's going to cost you money. And more importantly, it's going to cost you time, because it also takes more time than I would like to see.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much as always. Appreciate talking to you guys. Please be safe out there. Good luck to you both.
Always.
All right. We'll see you next week, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.